Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
Shane.
And we are back with Attack on Titan, Season 1, Episode 27. Do you remember what happened
4.
last time? Season 4, Episode 27. Cut! Do you remember what happened last time on Episode 26?
It was a dark episode. I did go on about this show really makes you care about a bunch of characters. It makes you at least empathize with both sides. Mm-hmm. My favorite character is doing something I don't agree with, but I completely understand why he's doing it. I completely empathize with the guys who were like, Connie, he shot Armin. That's where he kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Shot the fuck out of Armin.
Yeah, he did.
Which was kind of actually disgusting.
He shot through his face.
Yeah.
And his teeth were missing.
Yeah, like fucking Benicio del Toro and...
Sicario 2?
Yeah, they...
Yeah, because he shot him in the face.
Yeah.
He shot him in the face.
Yeah, what if he shot you in the face? Yeah, it sucked. It sucked for everybody. And I think a good show makes you...
But we had that admission of guilt from McGath.
Yeah.
He kind of opened up about why he had been the way he had been and how he sees his own country and himself.
Yeah.
And that he had no right to ask these Paradians to help them with this fight.
Yeah, and they're kind of embodying that hate.
To kill their own people. And they said, no, we're not going to let you bloody your hands for us.
Yeah.
Fight our battles for us. So...
Exactly, because, they're warriors by this point. You know what I mean? They've done a lot of things. I wonder if McGath will go out in a blaze of glory, like saving...
I think he probably will.
Yeah.
I think maybe even saving Gabby and Falco.
That would be cool. And with Falco, not Falco, but Gabby kind of, freaking out.
Yeah, when he was losing his shit over Yelena.
Yeah,
and
it was hard to watch because Yelena's a woman, even though she's huge and got a bowl cut.
She's tall.
Yeah, she's tall.
She's not huge, but she's tall.
And just literally...
You got that, Charlize Theron look in terms of height.
Yeah, but she's
broad shoulders, but not wide hips. You know what I mean?
Well, there's
not
this
completely
woman
manly features because Charlize Theron is good looking. But I just mean that she's got kind of that more athletic look, I guess you might say, in a woman. I don't know how to describe it, but
I'll tell you what. On Halo, the live action series, the Spartans are these genetically engineered superhumans. So Pablo Schreiber, I think that's his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've seen him on things tall. He's 6'6".
The guy that plays Master Chief.
Yeah, he played like a leprechaun in American God or something. There's a female Spartan. Well, there's 2 female Spartans, right? And this woman is like this Amazonian goddess. I mean, she's not like the hottest I've ever seen, but something about her, like just 6'3", double cheeked up.
Just draws you
nice
in.
Smile,
Just draws your ass in.
Yeah, she just draws me in. Maybe the armor probably does something to her too, but
yeah, I had that
something about her.
Me and the guys at work were talking about that today. There's one guy's he's a stout guy and kind of heavy set, but he's like, I don't know if I want a woman that can pick me up and throw me around the bedroom.
I mean, not if you're 250.
And in my head, I'm thinking, well, I mean, yeah.
But do you want to be like 140 and you have the girl, the big tall girl holding you like this?
No, well, the other guy I was talking to is 140. He's like, because he was saying, well, I wouldn't care. He's talking about his wife now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care if she was 6'5". I'm thinking in my head, I might care because there has to be a certain level of sexual attraction there. And I'm not saying that all tall women are ugly. I'm just saying it might fuck with me.
Well, because he's thinking about his wife that he's already in love with. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, George Costanza said, they were sitting around at the diner, and he just says, I always want to have sex with a tall woman. And it just...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's an impossibility for me to be attracted to a tall woman. I'm just saying that...
Well, I've been with a tall woman, but they're about as tall as me.
Yeah, that's different.
You know what I mean?
Taller women.
No one's been taller. I'm not that tall. I'm 5'11", so...
I don't know. I know people... I think there's one guy at work that's taller than me. And he's 6'7".
Dude, my friend who's real short, he's been with some women that I know that are about as tall as me, and he's way shorter than me. Yeah. So he's living the dream, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, most guys I work with, though, they're all 5'10" or under. I mean, there's a couple guys, the one I mentioned is 5'11". There's another guy 6'7". Yeah, and I'm 6'1", so I'm taller than all these people. They range from 5'8" to 5'11", in that range. And me and this other guy are taller than everybody.
I don't know what that feels like, Zach, so...
I barely noticed it.
Yeah, well, what was that thing? I'm sure you wouldn't. You get to live that way. It's a privilege. Anyways, guys, before we jump in, just let you know, we do put our footage on Patreon. It's available, though, for everyone. And make sure after you watch it, you come back here. We'll break it down. Let's jump in.
Boy. Hey, it's our dude.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a half day for these mechanics to prep this airboat.
Yeah.
And they've got to get it over to Odiha, Hisaru, wherever. Odiho, maybe a place in Hisaru. I'm not sure. Maybe Hisaru's not a thing. Pretty sure they said Hisaru somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've got to take that airboat back over there to prep it with enough time and the right equipment and maybe possibly personnel.
Yeah.
But to thwart Eren.
Yeah, so it's weird for me to think that Liberio and Marley will go, will be trampled, honestly.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing it until I see it, because I think this show, I can't imagine them just glossing over something that major.
Yeah.
Right now, they're building up our team that's looking for him, and I wonder if this episode, the way it's leading off, is going to, if we'll see some of the rumbling,
yeah,
taking place, because if it's just like, oh, hey, it happened.
Yeah.
I can't. It's not good enough for me. At least.
It wouldn't be good enough
I know it's probably hell to animate, but I just feel like it's not good enough for me. I mean, you built this all up. You need to see the aftermath.
Well, the horror of it would be important.
Mm-hmm.
Or the redemption. Yeah, I mean, it's just because it's such a place that is significant. Other than Paradis, it's like the most significant place.
Yeah, and to just gloss that over would be a disservice.
I'll tell you what, if I was there, that'd be the fucking first place I'd go.
Yeah. And so and what they were even saying, Hanji's saying, by the time we get there, we always knew it was going to be gone.
So are these guys just walking across the narrow sea?
Yeah. That's my understanding, because it showed steam in the last episode.
Yeah.
Where it was talking about them crossing.
But I mean, how deep is this fucking sea?
I don't know. I guess they don't need to breathe.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Do they? I don't know.
I thought they talked about that. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I don't either. I mean, if they don't have to eat and drink anything.
No, they don't.
Surely they probably wouldn't have to breathe.
Yeah.
That's like that one thing. I was like, it's unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't do anything else but drown him.
Yeah.
And then Magath's comment stood out to me. And the episode was mostly, action, which is great, because
it was great action.
The scene was beautiful. I mean, it doesn't strike me quite as strongly as one of my favorite moments in anime history is Bradley taking that fucking.
Oh, that's fucking great.
That taking out the tank.
Yeah.
And everything, and then his fight with Greed, like that character just rocked the screen.
Well, he was fucking an incredible character. Yeah.
But that was great. The animation was fucking great. Seeing all that go down, all that fight there was beautiful. And then the explosion behind her, she had that moment.
Yeah, and it was a moment of stillness until she looked at the camera.
Yes.
I mean, she's just a badass female character. I like her a lot. That sometimes her very fierce devotion to Eren made me kind of like give the side eye. But other than that, I really like the character.
Tits.
Yeah. Also, Flock. I mean, even though he's kind of on the run, his scene of the desperation in the animation was really good.
Yeah, he had that little moment.
Yeah.
Where he.
I mean, it's not like he won't die for what he believes is right.
I know. It's
he's just annoying up until here.
He's just I'm glad it's finally coming, but it looked like he got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, he's not done.
I don't know if he's done. But at the same time, what else?
He's gonna be on that fucking boat.
He could be.
Oh fuck.
And he could kill somebody. It's important after he's on the boat. I mean, the fucking guy just won't die.
He won't die. Yeah, he just won't die.
Magath, when he's talking to Keith Shadis, says, "I served my country by betraying my conscience."
Yeah.
Now, imagine how many people have done that in the history of the world.
It's a ton.
And everyone, I'm sure, has pointed to Nazi Germany, but there's so many other examples.
No, there's a ton of examples, and you know what? I
don't know if you go back far enough to a point where morals weren't the morals we have today, that are Christian morals. And for the most part, they, by and large, they're at least based on them.
Yes.
But if you go back into a lot of other moral sets of values and everything, back into, like, say, Alexander the Great's time, where he was king and priest.
Well, even 150 years ago, people were still dueling each other.
Dueling.
Yeah.
He said dueling, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Dueling each other. Or maybe, like 175 years ago or whatever in the U.S. I mean, France, I can't remember their last duel, but really Scott made a pretty good movie.
Duels. I'm talking about just, you look at Alexander the Great and leading this army into India.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of those Greek guys really regretted it? They probably, you know what I mean? Like, their moral values probably were kind of like, we got to do this for king and country, or like to prove we're men amongst men. You know what I mean? Doing our thing. Whereas now, there's a lot more kind of moral reflection, I think.
3 days later.
Very reminiscent of like what the British did to Afrikaners, and it did in South Africa.
Yeah.
In the time of the Boer War, the Second Boer War, like where they just they disenfranchised natives.
Yeah.
By bringing in the foreign like people or migrants or whatever.
Yeah.
Or these people that would come in, they wanted a share of like at that time it was like mining rights and and all that other shit, because if you didn't own land there, you couldn't vote on any of the laws.
Yeah.
Like if you weren't a citizen. So
you couldn't do that even here until like 150 years ago,
but these
right?
people wanted to vote, so the British government was, if I remember correctly, it's kind of more or less what it was like. So it reminds me of kind of what could happen here, and we're getting very political here.
Yeah.
But either way, saving my country by betraying my conscience. I mean, it definitely first thought was Nazi Germany, and like how many German soldiers.
Well, even like Soviet Russia.
Yeah. I mean, those people endured for a long time a lot of bullshit in Russia.
Yeah.
From Imperial Russia.
I think
then they turned around and it got worse under Bolshevik Russia.
I think I'm wondering in these Nazi death camps, which not everyone in Germany was aware of them.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them. Like I saw this thing like
the guards and everything.
Yeah, like did it attract psychopaths that were already there, or did it take people of weak fortitude and create psychopaths?
Yeah, that's what.
Or was it something? Or was it a little bit of both, or was it somewhere in the middle?
I'd say the reality should tell anybody that it's probably a little bit of everything.
Probably a little bit of everything, but like
probably people that went there, the psychopaths that probably climbed through the ranks.
Yeah.
Or they got in positions of power, or power that corrupted them, and like they took advantage of the circumstances. They're just weak fortitudes, like you said, weak men, and you got the indifference of, it's like Boondock Saints, the indifference of good men. It allowed a lot of that to flourish.
I'm wondering how many people were betraying their conscience, like at the actual death camps. Like at that point, did they even have one? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say they could have been definitely sullied and like trodden and worn down.
Yeah.
To the point where they might have been. I mean, it's definitely more horrible, obviously, for those that are interred in the camps. Prisoners, but obviously those men that were doing that, like if they were any sort of good man or decent person outside of there, they'd lost it all. But
and they probably, I imagine they were imagine they weren't even in that situation. Imagine it'd be hard for them to get to the situation when they were if they were actually stationed at a Nazi death camp. Yeah. If they were just completely opposed to it. See, what if Batman was wrong in The Dark Knight? Like, he had a lot of faith in people, and I love it. It's cool. But, like, I don't know if it would always go that way.
No, I don't know either.
I think if you did it like 10 times, at least one of those 10 times, someone would have done it. You know what I mean?
agree. He's lucky that fucking dude was on the one.
Yeah.
The guy that was the prisoner.
Yeah. Yeah, he just stood out the window. Yeah. Even though that could have just set it off.
He sorts and just blows it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. And then we had, of course, the final, the grand finale of Keith Shawtus and Theo McGath.
It was beautiful.
They had a really great, worthy, honorable moment.
And they were opposed. I mean, we don't have a history with them, like, together.
No, but they were both these grizzled old men.
And they were opposed to each other for a long time.
Yeah, but they had also become opposed to their own country, of what their countries had become.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he saw his former students riding out of the town, and he realized what they were setting out to accomplish. He saw Annie there. Yeah. And he just felt like, there's something, what do you say, something poetic or beautiful about it or something?
He was proud of her.
Proud of her or something, I don't know, yeah.
I mean, I loved it. Yeah, man, I love it. I love the show. It was a great moment. It was a good way for Theo to go out. I'm glad we got Shawtus back, but I'm glad he went out like that. And he said, "I've been searching for a good death." Kind of. Yeah. It was just, I loved it. This is gonna, if they stick the landing to the show, it's gonna be one of the great ones.
I have to agree. I'm looking forward to where it goes. And it's just building up in great ways. I know there's someone else I've talked to. That has mentioned that they were kind of hesitant to watch the final season because the animation. I'm trying to recall now the beginning of the season. I'm sorry. Yeah. What the animation quality was like in terms of the studio that did it.
Yeah, people were critical of Mappa taking charge, but now people are like, oh, they tried hard and they did a good job.
Yeah, because this scene right there in this episode where Mikasa was taking those people out, that's some of the most beautiful animation I've seen.
It was awesome. In episode 1, Reiner and Zeke's attack on that Middle Eastern allied place.
Yeah, you see a lot of CG with the Titans. And
yeah,
it was. You see it here too, but I just feel like that
the filters were done well.
It's kind of like in Castlevania.
Yeah,
when the fight scenes happen,
they're great.
Beautiful.
Love that show.
The average them walking around scenes was good, serviceable.
Yeah,
they look a little stiff.
They understood the fight.
The fight scenes, man.
Yeah,
fucking.
The
beautiful.
MO for the fights were done extremely well.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. It was fantastic. guys. So I don't think we got anything else to say.
No, there you go.
See you next week.